What the heck? What do you mean trichotillomania is not my problem? Sure feels like a problem to me, right? Okay, yeah, I get that. But is it really the problem? Is the fact that you're pulling your hair out all the time and you can't stop really the problem? Look, I couldn't blame you if you think it is. After all, that's what you see every day, and that's what you struggle to contain probably pretty much every day of your life right now. But what if I told you that that's not actually your problem? That your problem is very likely something else you hadn't even thought about until now. And that the reason you even have trichotillomania is because of that problem. And if you can identify what that is and handle that problem, freeing yourself from trichotillomania is going to be a cakewalk. Have you ever heard of anything like this before? No, I didn't think so. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about it. So I just said something that quite probably blew your mind. I told you that despite everything you've been through over the past God knows how many years, trichotillomania, that thing you struggle with every single day, that's not actually your problem after all. Something else is. And by the way, that something else is actually the reason why you've had such a hard time letting go of your trichotillomania in the first place. Now, let me back up for a minute and give you a little bit of background on this. My wife and coaching partner Glay and I have been involved in this kind of work for well over 20 years now. And when you've been doing this work as long as we have, and you've seen as many clients as we have over all these years, if you're any kind of observant, certain patterns are going to make themselves apparent. One of these big picture patterns seems to be that symptoms of any kind, clinical symptoms, emotional, behavioral, or whatever, the kind of stuff most people want to go see doctors for, aren't the actual problems themselves. Instead, they tend to be merely the outward sign of another problem. Symptoms, including chronic hair pulling, the kind of thing you can't stop, are the red flag your brain is waving around to let you know there's something else going on in your life that's the real problem. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm saying that there's very likely something else going on in your life that's difficult for you, and that is therefore stressful, and you may or may not be aware of it, that because that's a problem in your life, hair pulling and your difficulty stopping that, that's your stress coping reaction. But whatever's causing that stress in your life is the actual problem. Now, let's go a little bit deeper on this. Wouldn't you agree that, for the most part, hair pulling is something you usually do when you're not feeling very good? There could be a lot of things that make you want to pull: stress, pressure, overwhelm, anxiety, maybe boredom, fatigue, monotony. These are all uncomfortable feelings, right? Now, Glay and I have come to believe that uncomfortable feelings of any kind, doesn't matter what they are, only show up when the body is under some kind of stress. And the body is stressed when you're organizing your life in a way that doesn't work for you. The brain's signal for you on that is pain. Let's think about this. What's the purpose of pain? Well, it's to get our attention. Pain and discomfort happens when we put ourselves in proximity of something that's doing damage to us, physically, emotionally, psychologically, any of that. And it's that pain that gets our attention, right? Pain makes us want to move. It makes us want to take action to separate ourselves from or create distance from whatever, it looks like the source of that pain might be. So when do we have pain? Well, it's, when we've done this or we've done that, or we've gone here or we've gone there, or we've made this or that choice. And because of that, now we have pain. Give you some examples. I stick my finger in an electrical plug and I get pain. I get too close to a burner and I get pain. I spend too much time in a bad relationship, maybe with a toxic person, and I have pain. Let me give you a real life example. We're working with a woman right now, a medical doctor in her mid-30s. We're about 8 weeks into her 90-day program with us. This woman has a full-time job, and then she comes home to her family. She's got a young child, a 2-year-old, a husband, and she's even pregnant right now. So there's a lot going on at home, right? Just because she's got a full-time job doesn't mean she doesn't also have a full-time job, another one, at home. It's like having 2 full-time jobs all the time. To add fuel to the fire, this woman has some deep-seated values around productivity. Like, she can't allow herself to take a break because that would mean she's not being as productive as she could be. You see how all this could add up here. This woman's life is clearly out of balance. And whenever there's too much or too little of something going on in your life, You're going to feel that because it's stressful. So how does this woman seek to restore balance in her life? Not that she had any idea about this, but she was doing that with hair pulling. You know, when she's pulling her hair, she can kind of zone out. That's been her break time. Her brain literally manufactured a way for her to at least attempt to restore balance to her life. The problem is hair pulling hurts her. Now, as of this date, the date I'm making this video, she's much, much better than when she started with us about 8 weeks ago. Things aren't perfect yet, but things are vastly better because we've been spending this time with her. Now, you might ask, well, look, you're so good. Why isn't she totally better yet? It's a great question. Well, it's because she hasn't really made major changes to her lifestyle. Her life in many ways is still out of balance. That's going to continue to be stressful, and her stress coping mechanism for 20 years has always been hair pulling. So now do you see what I mean? Hair pulling's not actually her problem. It's her lifestyle that's been her problem. And when she finally gets that under control, I promise you it's going to be worlds easier for her to let go of her hair pulling behavior altogether. Now, I want to conclude all this by saying I've never heard of anyone else talk about the urge, the interest, the compulsion to pull as just being the outward sign of something else that's really the problem. Have you? What do we all hear? Well, the trichotillomania is something you get. It's a mental disorder. It's a condition that somehow mysteriously besets you, and once you have it, you always have it. Like, it's its own thing. And that if it shows up for you, that means something snapped and went terribly wrong, and now you have this disorder. And that's why you've been pulling your hair out. Like trichotillomania, this behavior is the enemy, that it's the bad guy. But you know what? In our way of thinking, that's not actually the case. Think about this for a minute. If you were to think of trichotillomania, or this tendency to want to pull your hair out when you're uncomfortable or stressed out, as nothing more than the outward sign of another issue that really does need to be handled in your life, is the part of you that creates these symptoms to call your attention to this other stuff really the bad guy? Hey, we may not like your hair pulling. I think we'd all agree on that. But once we understand why this behavior has shown up in your life, that is, it's a sign that something else is going on in your life that's very probably out of balance, out of whack, and that's a thing that needs to be addressed, well, then you can start to think of trichotillomania as the messenger and not the message. It's actually the good guy, not the bad guy. The moral of the story? Well, if you've been pulling your hair out and you can't seem to stop, then stop and ask yourself, what else is going on in my life that really isn't working for me? What is there too much of or too little of in my life right now? Chances are, if you really think about that without overthinking it, the answer is going to be obvious. I'm sure part of you knows exactly what that thing is that's not working in your life. Take care of that, get that handled, and watch it become that much easier for you to dispense with your hair pulling activity once and for all. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you're watching this video at our YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit that like button below, and please do subscribe to our channel. That way we can keep you updated when we release new videos. If you're watching this video at our Facebook page, please scroll down and hit the reply button below. Let us know your thoughts. Ask your questions. Share with us your experiences. How has this video, this information, this insight that I've shared with you, how has it impacted you? Let's get a dialogue going, okay? And also, please do feel free to like and to share this video with anyone you believe would benefit from it. Finally, if you'd like to, you can feel free to reach out to us for more information about how we can help you break free from even years of what may have felt like slavery to trichotillomania. You can reach us at any time of day or night at our 24-hour toll-free voicemail messaging service at 833-TRICH-FREE. You can also visit us at our website at www.trich-free.com, or you can write to us for more information at relief@trich-free.com. That's it for now. I'm Robert Mantell with the Trichotillomania Relief Specialist in Southern California. Thanks again for watching, and here's wishing you a trick-free week.